to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Father God, again, we give you many thanks, Lord, for another day that you've given us to serve, Lord. We continue to lift this board that you've elected, judge, and 4 commissioners. Continue to pray for them, Lord. Continue to provide them your wisdom, Lord, and more importantly, your peace that comes through your Son, Lord, as they continue to make all the decisions that affect us all, Lord. Continue to ask for your wisdom for myself, all the leadership of this county, all the workers of this county, Lord. May we just continue to work as we're working for you, Lord. We lift those that are battling any illnesses, Lord. Just lift them up to you through your healing hand, Lord. And again, your hand of peace on them and their families as well, Lord, as they continue to battle whatever illnesses is challenging them, Lord. Again, we give you many thanks, and thank you for the opportunity that you give us to serve today, Lord. I ask this all in your Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that prayer, Raul.
Yes, sir.
Did anyone sign up for the open forum?
Yes, sir, we do have one participant. I will ask the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There is a 3-minute time limit, and I will advise when there is 1 minute left. Our speaker for today, this is Commissioner's Court. My apologies. There is no one under Drainage District.
No one?
Okay. Then we go to the approval of the consent agenda. Does anyone want to pull any of those items out of the consent agenda for separate discussion?
Any concerns, Owen?
No, sir, no concerns. Everything's in order.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
We do have items in a closed session, sir.
Okay, as per Chapter 551 of Texas Government Code, Sections 55.1.071 and 55.1.72, we're going to be discussing these matters in executive session. I have a motion to move to executive session.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Back from closed session, we move on to open session. Item 6A.
Yes, sir. Real estate acquisition, we will proceed as directed, sir.
May I have such a motion? Do we need a motion?
No, sir. No, on that one, we'll proceed as directed. Okay. We will need a motion on the next one on item B. On pending or contemplated litigation, we recommend that the board authorize legal counsel to proceed as discussed in the closed meeting.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And that's it.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, that concludes all of our agenda items. Meeting is adjourned. We'll move into our regular commissioners' meeting. I have a roll call starting with Commissioner from Precinct 1.
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2.
Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Ellie Torres, Precinct 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a quorum. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me. Good morning. Almighty God, we come together today for the good of the citizens of Hidalgo County. Give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect them today and in the years to come. Lord, inspire us today with the qualities of good leadership and give insight to make wise decisions, integrity to face the truth, courage to make difficult choices, and compassion for the needs of others. We ask for your blessing and your guidance. Amen.
Amen. Okay. The approval of the consent agenda. Does anyone want to pull any of those items out for a separate discussion?
Yes, sir. With the board's Commissioner's Court's permission, I'd like to pull from consent agenda item 13B, 1 and 2, and consent agenda item 14B.
Move to approve without those items.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Ms. Marty, 14B.
We have discussed between legal counsel and the auditor's office, and the issues have been resolved. I recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, for the record, consent agenda item 13B 1 and 2. Commissioner Fuentes will be abstaining from any action and/or discussion on this item. I can have the court.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Let the record show that Commissioner Fuentes abstained from voting. Back to regular agenda items. I believe the next item is the proclamation declaring World Read Out Loud Day.
Yes, good morning. Julia Sullivan presenting for County Judge Richard F. Cortez. Item 5A is a proclamation for World Read Aloud Day. And we have Kate Horan, who's the president of the Hidalgo County Library System, joining us for this. There's 13 libraries in the system, and the proclamation reads, whereas World Aloud Day is celebrated around the globe on February 1st to promote literacy, and whereas reading aloud to children every day puts them almost a year ahead of children who do not receive daily read aloud, and 66% of children ages 6 to 11 say that reading together is fun. And whereas the Hidalgo County Library System will promote Read Aloud Day at scheduled events on January 31st and February 1st and other dates in February as part of ongoing efforts to promote literacy. And whereas Hidalgo County Library System launched the county's e-library, an online collection of books, audiobooks, and magazines in August 2017. E-library is a major initiative to promote literacy and demonstrate a commitment to providing literacy opportunities to residents of all ages and abilities, giving them the chance to download or the access to download and read books anywhere that they can on the internet. Whereas, since its launch, usage has skyrocketed. Since 2017, checkouts have increased by 1,972%, and registered users have increased by 446%, with an average of 325 new registered users per quarter. It's amazing. And whereas Hidalgo County Judge Richard F. Cortez will join McAllen Mayor Jim Darling and others in reading aloud to children at the McAllen Public Library at 6 p.m. on January 31st. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby proclaims February 1st as World Read Aloud Day, with observances held on both January 31st and throughout the month of February. Approved this. You can vote.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Well, thank you very much, Kate, for being here.
Approved this 15th day.
Of course, the day is celebrated on February the 1st, but here in the county, we're going to be celebrating it throughout a period of time, starting on January 31st, running through February the 20th. And I usually don't get nervous about certain things, but I'm going to be real nervous when I read to those kids. I don't know, whatever, and I encourage anybody else to join us there.
Well, Judge Cortez, I know that you read to your grandchildren, so I'm
Yes.
sure you'll be fine. In fact, we will be reaching out also to the commission if you would also like to become readers at World Read Aloud Day at one of our county locations. We'll keep it really simple for you, Pat the Bunny or the Very Hungry Caterpillar. So, but good morning, and my name is Kate Horan. I'm the McAllen Public Library Director and also your county librarian. We will be joining with libraries around the globe and places around the globe on February 1st or about or on that date in reading aloud and advocating literacy as a human right. And why is it important for us to read aloud to our children? Well, it improves their vocabulary and helps them to become better communicators and therefore do better in school. Stories read aloud also can instill moral lessons and heroic values. Moms and dads can lecture, but often the most memorable lessons that we can have, we receive through books. Reading memoirs and biographies and even fiction builds empathy, connecting the readers to a variety of situations and letting them walk in someone else's shoes as they listen. And best of all, reading aloud instills a lifelong love of reading. So it's my hope that our citizens will tuck away those electronic devices for a little bit and join one of our HCLS libraries celebrating World Read Aloud Day. For more information, you do have before you our flyer, which tells you our different locations. This will also be on our HCLS website, which is www.hcls.lib.tx.us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
Take a picture.
Good luck reading upside down.
Stand on the carpet. On the count of three, please. 1, 2, and 3. And one more. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Next item on the agenda is item 6A, District Attorney's Office. She's coming.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge. Rosalinda Cantu presenting for the District Attorney's Office. First item is item 6A, discussion, consideration, approval, and authorization for District Attorney Ricardo Rodriguez Jr. to execute the Memorandum of Understanding between West Coast Children's Clinic and the Hidalgo County Office of the Criminal District Attorney for implementation of a screening tool to identify commercially sexually exploited children. Here with me today is the Victims Unit Director, and she's going to be speaking a little bit more on this.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing us to come before you once again. We're starting this new year, and we're trying to implement the processes and best practices for the new human trafficking unit that is going to be run by our office. And this is part of that component. We want to make sure that we use the best practice screening tool to identify children that are being sexually exploited. And this is a tool that's already being used by DPS and CPS, and we're joining with the Office of the Governor Child Sex Trafficking Team to implement this locally. So we have the appropriate tools that we need when we're working with that type of victimization.
Thank you very much for your service. I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work, Rosa.
6B.
Item 6B, DA's Office Unit Court Advocate Project Grant Fund 1281. Number 1 is requesting approval to rescind action taken on agenda item number 67796, item 6C2 and 6C3, regular agenda of December 4th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Number 2, requesting approval of certification of revenues by the County Auditor for FY 2018 and approval to appropriate FY 2018 Victims Unit Court Advocate Project Grant Funds.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6C, Hidalgo County DA's Office Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor Grant number 2931304. Number 1 is approval to ratify action taken on November 20th, 2018 through agenda item number AI 67719 for a budget adjustment submitted to the Office of the Governor.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Number 2, approval to submit a DVSP budget adjustment to the Office of the Governor.
So move.
Second. Sorry.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. May I proceed to 7A?
Yes, ma'am.
HIDA Task Force, HIDA Chapter 59 Fund 1251. Authorization and approval to pay extra duty hours from January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019, to deputies assigned to the Hidalgo County Criminal District Attorney's Office. Hide a task force from the following departments: Constable Precinct 3, Constable Precinct 4, and Sheriff's Office.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you
That's it
very
for me.
much.
Have a good day.
Item 8A, Sheriff's Office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Chief Herrera with the Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo County. Item 8A, requesting authorization for the county judge as chief executive officer and the Sheriff J.E. Eddie Guerra as the head of the department to sign the ICE request certification form for participation in all aspects of the program and proceed authorization in the U.S. Department of Homeland Security.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
8B, DOJ USMS, U.S. Marshals 1284, number 1. Approval to accept overtime funding from the U.S. Department of Justice U.S. Marshal Service for one officer in the amount of $14,333.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Number 2, requesting authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
B3, approval and certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the DOJ USMS funding and appropriate funds in the amount of $14,333 for USMS overtime funding.
So moved.
Second.
All this overtime is reviewed by several people before you come to us, correct?
Correct.
Right. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Item 9A, the Constable Precinct 2.
Good morning. I'm Deputy Rocio with the Constable's Office, Precinct 2. We have 2 items to present. 9A, requesting authorization and approval to purchase promotional items under public purpose, but not limited to tablecloths, banners, pens, pencils, and etc. These items will be used to inform, relate progress, educate, and report important information to our constituents on aspects of numerous projects, programs, and events.
So moved.
Second.
And what is the amount?
Let me see if I have the amount here.
It's usually $250.
I don't have an amount here.
Authorization as they need them, Judge.
But there has to be a budget for the whole year.
Correct. They would have a budget.
And what is that?
Enter the requisition.
And what is that?
I don't know.
The amount is not on here, Judge.
Okay. But it is part of your budget.
Yes.
We have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B, presentation and discussion of 2018 racial profiling report by Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 2 Department in accordance with Article 2.134 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to accept. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 10, Constable Precinct 4.
Good morning, Judge,
Good morning,
Commissioners. Constable Gaitan, Judge, Commissioners, 10A, requesting approval for the acceptance of one male German Shepherd K9 Mijo for the Constable Precinct 4 Department donated by Mr. Francisco Guerrero and its inclusion in the county inventory list. Upon the K9's retirement, separation, and/or impeding medical conditions, the K9 will be returned to Mr. Francisco J. Guerrero for safe care.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. That's all I've got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 11A, Executive Office.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Item 11A, 1 and 2, there is no action to be taken today. Item 11B, and for the record, this is subject to final review and corrections. I'm asking approval of the 2019 elected official bonds as listed.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C, Judge, Commissioners, I'd like to do a revision to our time. so we can accommodate, or so we can include Drainage District at 1:30. So I'm asking to revise the time for the regular term meeting from 1:30 to 2 p.m., which is Commissioners Court, for calendar year 2019. Drainage District would be at 1:30.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, I'm asking appointments and/or reappointment of board of members to the Hidalgo County Regional Mobility Authority Board of Directors for 2-year term. The current terms that are expiring are for the county judge and for precinct 3. So if I could have an appointment.
I nominated Alonso Cantu
Alonso Cantu.
in precinct 3. Do we know who we nominated?
No, but when he comes back, I can get that nomination.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and go on to item E, and then I can take the action for both. Item E, I'm asking the court to approve a settlement offer from HDI Global Insurance Company in the amount of $2,500. This will settle an auto accident with one of our county vehicles.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 is authorization authorizing myself, the executive officer, to sign the full and final property damage release for the settlement of the auto accident with HDI Global.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item F, I'm asking to accept partial insurance settlement checks related to storm damages to county property during the June rain events from Evanston Insurance Company, Lexington, and Lexington Insurance Company.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 is I'm asking certification of revenues by the county auditor from funds received from the partial insurance settlement checks related to storm damages to county property.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And item 3 would be the appropriation of funds into the Flood Control Water Extract 2019, the amount of $86,592.31 for the anticipated expenditures related to the June 2018 event. That is a total of the 2 partial insurance checks.
Move for approval.
Second.
Just for the record, because Ellie and I are new here, what is the process that you use to review all these claims?
I'm sorry?
What is the process that you use to review and come to us with
respect to this? There was an assessment with respect to the damages that were caused by the flood at the Precinct 1 area, and so we did an assessment and worked with the insurance company because there was a claim against the insurance company for the damage. So they sent in this particular case. It was a ServPro, which is they contracted. And so then we worked with them hand in hand, and we pointed out all the areas that we had identified. And so that's how we arrived at that assessed dollar amount. And we do have a full accounting at our office of that process.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for the explanation.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Item 12, Human Resources.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Raul Silguero from the Department of Human Resources. Item 12A, first, we're asking, requesting a waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments for personnel list items that are listed below. I need approval on that first, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 12B for the Office of the Auditor, the Auditor's Office, there's discussion, consideration, approval to appoint Anice Vasquez as a volunteer intern. This is unpaid under the Hidalgo County Auditor's Office for the period of January 16th through March of 12, 2019.
May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Did I get a motion?
Yes.
Oh, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is for the Work Department. That's on the following page. Agenda item C, approval of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period. The department is asking to delete 3 clerk positions, slot 0174 clerk 1, slot 0206 clerk 1, slot 0059 clerk 4, and they're asking to instead create 3 WIC certification specialist 1 at slot 0260, 0261, and 0262. These are all federally funded.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item D for the Precinct 2, Parks Department. The precinct is asking approval of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period. The precinct is asking to delete 2 positions, slot 0037, Equipment Operator 1, which is a grade 6, slot 0045, a Custodian 3 position at a grade 5, and instead to create slot 0049, a Program Manager 1 position, which is a grade 15.
15 or 13?
13, I'm sorry. 13, grade
So moved.
13.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item E is for the Health Department, approval of the following personnel action effective 1/7/2019. This is simply to create a slot to provide the employee. He has become eligible for longevity pay, and it's an amount of $300 in slot A164.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And the related item 2, is approval of the transfer.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item F is for the District Attorney's Office, approval of correction. Last week, we brought an item on the classification plan where we classified all the legal assistants. There was a typo. There was an error in one of the positions listed in Exhibit B on Agenda Item 68333. So the District Attorney is asking to make that correction effective next full pay period, and it's slot 0075, 0049, Legal Assistant 2. It should have been Step 2. It's currently was assigned to Grade 1, so we're asking approval to correct it so that it's Grade 8, Step 2.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item G, I believe Monica handed out a list. I've been working with Commissioner Torres on their staffing and her funding. Sergio, the budget officer, and I have met with her several times to look at her situation in terms of staffing and money for her projects. And she has determined that she needs to make right now an initial reduction in force in the drainage program. There are 3 positions that are affected. We have used the process. We have not considered any other precincts to see whether there's. We just made this determination recently. The effective date we have listed for Friday, so that there may be time to make some queries from the precincts to see if some of these positions can be placed in other locations. She doesn't have a place for the positions in any of her programs. She's already looking at that some more. But the item reads, discussion, consideration, and all appropriate action on the attached reduction in force list as per section 3.04 of the Civil Service Commission rules effective 1/18/2019, which is Friday. The list is attached, the reduction in force list. At least lists 5 positions. We have to use seniority where there are similar positions, like titles. As you can see, there's a program manager 2. There's 2 positions. The rating is a point system that the policy requires that we assign based on seniority. So program manager 2, the one listed first, has a rating of 20.17. So that would stay, and we would recommend then that the second position with a rating of 7.50 with the lowest rating would be laid off. In the supervisor 3 construction, there's 2 positions also. The first one listed as a rating of 18.33, and the second one has 7.78. We would recommend that position be laid off. And the third one, which is a public affairs specialist, there's only one of those, so that would be laid off. The positions are laid off. They're not terminated. Let me read what the policy says. If an employee should be laid off as a result of a reduction in force, and if within a period of 1 year thereafter a vacancy should occur in the same department and in the same or in a lower salary grade, the said employee shall be reinstated in the vacant position, provided that such employee is willing to accept the offered employment, and provided further that such employee meets all qualifications for said position. So that would be available to the employees. What I propose to do, Commissioners, is if you approve the reduction in force, is send a list of all vacant positions to these employees so that they can have an opportunity to apply. We will give them first consideration if they meet all the requirements, if that's okay with you.
How many of these employees are going to be unemployed?
These are 3 positions.
3 positions?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Siguro, I don't have a drainage department. Where does this paid with? How are these people paid?
They get paid out of the road and bridge money and from any other revenues that the commissioner would receive based on projects that would be done in tandem or in conjunction with the drainage district or with other governmental entities, cities, or so forth.
You know, last time we brought up personnel like this, I think it's just appropriate for us to work with them. You know, we're affecting families. We're affecting food on somebody's table. So, again, I just think that you need to offer whatever consideration we can to make sure that we find other places that we could possibly use them. Because I think that, again, you're affecting families. And again,
the commissioner
that's entirely...
The commissioner has been struggling with this, and we've met over the several weeks.
But from our department, from the Human Resource Department,
yes,
that's
sir.
all I ask, is
Okay,
that you
yes,
reach
sir.
out to them.
Yes, sir, I will.
Let them know what's available.
I will make available any vacant positions that we have posted and see between now and Friday, see if there's a way to, if these people qualify, they meet the qualifications, and they're willing to take the positions, certainly we will.
That's all I ask, is that you give them that consideration.
Yes, sir.
Can you give them 2 weeks, just like employees are supposed to give us 2 weeks out of courtesy? Is that?
We will recommend this
normal,
Friday
or-
as a date. If the commissioner,
I mean,
you know,
Given
next
the-
Friday instead of this Friday.
Well, given the financial situation I'm in, it'd be a continued strain on my budget. And just know, Commissioner Fuentes, that we did extend that, and we did convey to them that we encourage them to seek other positions that are available with great recommendations.
but they don't have to wait a year, do they?
No, it says they have a year to, you know, we will have to give them consideration for a period of a year. If any vacancy comes forward, we have to offer them a position for, that's what I was reading. I read that they have priority if another vacancy becomes available in the precinct, and we can offer them a position if they meet the qualifications.
And all I'm saying is that, you know, the precinct may not be able to absorb that. What I'm saying is from the county side.
Yes, sir.
You know,
No,
we have a lot of
I-
other positions.
Right.
You know, that's what I would hope that
I'm
you would be
going to
communicating.
look at their qualifications and look at the jobs that we have vacant that are posted and see if I can match up and send them, you know.
And that was highly encouraged for them to look at what we had available in the entire county.
Yes, ma'am.
If the court agrees with the action list and the ratings, we need action on this reduction of force.
May I have a motion, please?
So move.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And I will follow up, Commissioner Fuentes, and make sure that we make every effort to place them in any position that we possibly can.
Thank you.
Especially the drainage district. I know they're not part of this, but, I mean, that
Yes,
seems like what their
that's true.
expertise is.
Right, I'll talk to Mr. Cecine
Okay.
as well. Item H, for County Court at Law Number 3, this is, we have a new judge. Joanne Garcia is a new probate judge. She's asking approval of the following personnel actions effective upon Commissioner's Court approval. Under the policy, department heads and elected officials who hire personnel that exceed the minimum requirement, they have additional education or experience beyond the minimum, are able to request a step adjustment to step 2. In this case, she has 2 positions that qualify. She's asking to place on step 2 positions, slot 004, a probate auditor, and slot 005, investigator 1, and we recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have, Judge, Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 13A, Urban County.
Good morning, Diana Serna for the Urban County Program. Judge, we're requesting that no action be taken on item 13A.
Okay, so we just,
Item 13B, if I may. We're requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024A4 for professional engineering services.
Someone.
Move for approval.
Second.
who is the engineer?
No, it's
Oh,
just-
that would be, you would be rating the
I'll be
item
right.
2.
All right. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
No one opposed, motion carries.
Item B2 is a presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court of at least 3 professional engineering firms with the county's approved pool, as graded and evaluated by City of La Villa, the Urban County Program, and the Hidalgo County Purchasing Department in connection with and funded through the Hidalgo County Urban County Program, Year 31 from the City of La Villa, which is a Water and Sewer Improvement Fund. The 3 firms that were evaluated were L&G Consulting Engineers, Incorporated, with a grade of 95.67, Fulcrum Consulting Engineers with a grade of 94.33, and R.E. Garcia and Associates with a grade of 88.67. Would you like to rank them in that order?
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The board usually picks the engineer, so if we have to pick it on the basis of who was ranked the highest, then it takes away our ability to hire somebody because we're forced to take the highest rated, or are we? Because I asked that question last time and I didn't get a clear answer.
Okay, the process that we follow through the use of federal funding is that we will evaluate the 3 firms, and because these funds were allocated to the City of La Villa, they have some say in who gets to work in their community. But because we don't allow the city itself to make the determination, when they give us the set of 3 engineers that they'd like to evaluate, we allow them to evaluate, we allow the Urban County Program to evaluate, and we allow the Purchasing Department to evaluate. Once we take those 3 evaluations and we come up with the average, we make the recommendation that these are the firms that were rated the highest for this type of project.
No, but that wasn't my question.
Judge, the Professional Procurement Act, which is 2254, requires that, especially, and it names engineers, architects, and surveyors, must be selected as the most qualified, presenting the qualifications, and that's how they are supposed to be selected. If you do not affect, and that's why you rank them, if you do not affect a contract with the number 1, you can cease negotiations and go to number 2.
But that's not my point. My point is that we are delegating the ranking of the engineer to someone else, and it's taking it away from the county judge and the commissioners, because once you rank him, then we have no choice but to take the one that you rank the highest.
Well, that they've scored the highest, Judge.
Well, the same thing, that they scored the highest. So I just wanted to make sure that those are the rules, and we're interpreting the rules correctly.
Not all the time, because one time I could have stopped it. Remember that several years ago?
If in our packet,
Yeah.
it sometimes, and I'd have to look back because I'm not familiar right at this moment, the packet could say that it can be either to Commissioner's Court or a committee assigned by or designated by the court.
Okay.
I believe that is the language.
So
It can be either way.
So since we're discussing it already, then the next step is to negotiate a fee.
Correct.
Okay.
Scope of service and the fees for that service.
And how do you determine the appropriateness of a fee?
Now, the way purchasing does it, because Urban County does their own, but they do use our pool, is we have relied in the past with Mr. Cecine to, when we have a doubt on whether it is meeting the national standards or rates, and we ask him to look at it. Sometimes he's instrumental in saying, I believe for the scope of work, you may want to work on this aspect of it.
So it's subjective, not objective?
Well, not as far as a range of fees, that is through the national average.
Well, like on road projects, we use TxDOT.
The TxDOT dates, the rates also.
That's subjective. Okay. Well, because how do you know that the Rio Grande Valley, which is on an index of 85% compared to national average, we're 50% cheaper than national. So if you go with national, we're really giving a bonus to somebody.
Correct,
So
but-
how do you determine those things?
But TxDOT also has used this objective method to come up with what they accept as the range of rates.
Well, it seems to me.
And they've taken other
It seems to me, because we
circumstances.
hire so many engineers, and I think it's important for us to figure out, we have routine, basic work, we have complex work, and then we have really complex work. I
That's
can
correct.
see a higher fee for real complex work, a little higher for complex, but basically anybody can do it. So when you're ranking people and you're doing basic work, by definition, everybody is qualified to do it. I don't know what makes somebody more qualified to do it than others, but that's for another discussion.
Correct.
But anyway, this was very helpful to me. I kind of understand what we're doing, but I think that I would feel better if we spent a little bit more time trying to be a little more objective in some of these evaluations and making sure that we're getting the best deal for the buck.
And your points are well taken, Judge. It also goes on to say in the Professional Procurement Act that the compensation cannot be a consideration when qualifying them. That's afterwards, at this stage.
I understand it perfectly.
So at this stage, there would be the option that if the rates.
But I'm trying to
believe-
get you to tell me whether this assignment that we're giving them is basic, complex, or super complex.
Oh, that, she takes care of that, because I
Okay,
do
well,
not
see,
know.
you don't know, and that's the problem. I'm trying to get the information
What
to
I'm-
evaluate your recommendation.
We take the recommendations, as I indicated, and we come up with our average. We also, when you actually rate them in the order that you would like for them to be rated based on their grade, we end up negotiating with the first one. Okay. I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood.
No, we'll get on this later on, but what
Okay.
I'm trying to get you to do is to say, here's a range of fees.
That's exactly what we
For
do.
a basic and a complicated, super complicated, here's a range.
That's
So
exactly what we
I've-
do, Judge.
Part of my evaluation is I've identified this project to be basic, so I shouldn't pay more than this price.
Exactly.
Okay? So then you go into step 2 to negotiate it, then you have that information available, because I wouldn't know how you would consider it reasonable or not unless you have a predetermined formula or process to do that.
It's also based on exactly as Ms. Marty indicated, and it's also based on years of experience and on not paying based on what the engineer wants, but what we can afford to pay. In this particular case, we have $200,000+ available, and there's no way I'm going to allow an engineer to come into him and tell me, I'm going to
Okay.
charge you 15% for this project. So
Okay.
we end up looking at what's available, what they're going to do, and the complexity of the project before we're able to negotiate a deal.
Well, I appreciate that. We have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried.
Item 3 is authority to negotiate a professional engineering service contract with the number one ranked firm of LNG Consulting Engineers Incorporated for the City of La Villa project.
Well, move approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Item C, Judge, is the same thing as this particular project. Is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024A4 for professional engineering services.
So move.
Approval.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item C2 is presentation of the scoring grid once again for Commissioners Court for ranking of 3 professional engineering services from the county's approved pool as graded and evaluated by the City of San Juan, the Urban County Program, and the Hidalgo County Purchasing Department in connection with a project funded with year 31 funding 2018 for the City of San Juan Street Improvement Funds. The 3 firms that were evaluated were Cruz Hogan Consultants Incorporated with a grade of 97, Javier Hinojosa Engineering 93, and Fulcrum Consulting Services with a grade of 92.33.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3 is authority to negotiate with a professional engineering service contract with the number 1 ranked firm of Cruz Hogan Consultants Incorporated for the provision of engineering services for the City of San Juan Street Improvement Project.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Judge, Commissioners, With your permission, may we go back to item 11D for the appointment? 11D was the appointment and/or reappointment of board members to the Hidalgo Regional Mobility Authority Board of Directors. We had two appointments for the county judge in precinct 3. County judge, Judge Cortez. His appointment is Alonso Cantu, Commissioner.
Well, I'm reappointed, Mr.
Oh, reappointing, I'm sorry, reappointing. And Commissioner Flores, do you have an
The same guy, Rick Perez.
Rick Perez. So reappointing Rick Perez. Okay, we could.
I have a motion to accept those recommendations.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Mr. Olivares.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. I have a few items today. Is item 14A is requesting approval to submit the renewal grant application and budget for the immunization program FY20. Award amount is $649,320, and the period would be in effect from September 1st, 2019 to August 31st, 2020. Ms. Nelda Mendez and Connie Sanchez are folks that oversee this immunization program, work very hard to continue this grant and keep on going forward.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B, sir, is requested approval of the interlocal cooperative agreement between the City of Edinburgh and the County of Hidalgo. The purpose of the agreement is for Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Department to provide inspections and permitting of OSSF or their septic systems, disposal systems within the City of Edinburgh jurisdiction. Our legal counsel has reviewed and has approved this action.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Sir, the next item, item C, is the Hidalgo County Funding District. There's no items there unless there's any questions. And item D, indigent health care, there's no items there unless there's any questions. There'll be some items to be brought to court next court session for indigent care.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Item 15A, Precinct 1.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item 15A. Precinct 1 is requesting approval to accept the counteroffer to purchase a tract of land known as parcel number 1055 associated with the Mile 6 West Road Improvement Project, with authority for the county judge to sign the administrative evaluation approval form.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item 16A, requesting authorization to solicit title reports, appraisals, and surveys, meets and bounds for acquisition of land for the Precinct 2 indoor baseball park facility.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 18, Budget Management.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget and Management. Item 18A is approval of the following salary schedule changes for the tax office, which is a step adjustment for one of their deputy clerks, as listed on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 18B is approval of two corrections to the 2019 adopted salary schedule, as listed on the Exhibit A. One of them is correction to the position. It was supposed to be a buyer 2, and we listed it as a buyer 1. We're requesting approval of that correction. And the other correction is the employee was on the nuisance abatement was put in between steps, and we're just requesting that they be put to the actual step salary.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 18C1, approval of 2019 appropriation of funds for the Court Reporter Service Fund, Fund 1239, in the amount of $162,000.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And item 18C2 is approval of 2019 appropriation of funds for the Justice Court Building Security Fund, Fund 1245, in the amount of $35,691.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Item
Morning,
seven-
Judge. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item 17A, requesting approval to accept the counteroffers to purchase a tract of land known as parcel number 14 and parcel number 20 associated with the Liberty Road Project Phase 1, with the authority for the county judge to sign administrative evaluation and approval form.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And number two, we can consider no action.
Move for approval.
Well, there is no action
There's
on
no
item two?
action.
Okay, no action.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Purchasing Department, Martha Salazar, 19A1, requesting acceptance and approval of certificate of substantial completion for the JP offices located in Precinct 1, reflecting the date of December 26th, submitted by ServPro of Harlingen and San Benito, awarded contractor for the build-back services to the property located at 1902 Joe Stevens in Weslaco, and as certified by the project engineer, Half Associates, under the contract 223, with authority for the executive officer to sign documentation.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
B1 Colonia Access Program for Precinct 4, acceptance and approval, final construction contract approved for negotiations back on November 20th of 18 in the amount of $39,638.67 for contract number 241. This is the Ware County subdivision between Hidalgo County and Castle Enterprises, as submitted by the project engineer and reviewed SAM Engineering and Surveying.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And B is pursuant to the Texas Local Government Code 262031, and in the interest of expediting the project's progress, requesting authority and approval for precinct commissioner or designee Belinda Reyes to execute any change orders.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item is the open forum.
Yes, we do have one participant, Judge.
Okay.
So I will ask the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There's a 3-minute time limit. I will advise when there is 1 minute. Our speaker today is Ms. Fern McClarity.
Who is cold?
And we were here early, and it was warm in here. And then whoever is playing with the little buttons, when Commissioners Court starts, they dial it down. So I've been looking at the vents. We're going to try to figure out how we can move a chair and get a warmer or electric blanket. I don't know which. I'm hoping Precinct 2 on 16A, you're going to build that indoor baseball park. Whatever you do, don't give the property to City of FAR. We're still waiting for the Boys and Girls Club to open up. So the children are out there in the cold right now. So, again, we're hoping the people of FAR, the voters, will put a little pressure on them to get that open for those kids. Like I said on my list here today, it's cold. Also, Precinct 1, you're so concerned about the people that work for the county. I know that since Handy was here many years ago, we've been top-heavy in a lot of places in the county, which means we have too many employees, too many positions. And you're so concerned about that. We've sat in court to listen and watch. I wished you were so concerned about the taxpayers that actually have to pay for all those positions. Their families are hungry. Those families are cold. They have to pay light bills. They got to pay their taxes. So I wished all of you would think about that when y'all think about the people. And I know you know the people that work here, work under you, or work in the positions. But if they're not needed, please don't keep them there. The county doesn't, and put qualified people in the position, not just because they've been with the county. I'm sorry. The taxpayers need your sympathy also. Thank you.
We do have closed session.
Okay, we're going to go into closed session pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Codes, Section 551.071 and 551.072, to discuss the following items, which are real estate and other pending litigation matters. I have a motion to move into closed session.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
23C, cause number C-034-19-B, Aurelia Mendez versus County of Hidalgo. Judge Commissioners, this is a claim turned suit. Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office was representing us in the claim status, and so I'm asking that this be assigned to Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office for county representation.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 23D through H is relating requests and action. 23D, Hidalgo County versus Valerie Joaquin Galvan Garcia and Sergio Cruz Cobos. I'd like to assign this to Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office for subrogation and or possible litigation.
So move.
Move for approval.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 23E, Hidalgo County versus Brandon Lee Trevino and Oscar Trevino, same requested action, Ms. Josephine Ramirez, and for subrogation and/or litigation suit.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 23F, Hidalgo County versus Juan Villacana, the same requested action.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 23G, Hidalgo County versus Eladio de Hoyos,
So
same
moved.
requested action.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And item 23H, Hidalgo County versus Ramiro Acuña and Desi Sanchez Duran, same requested action.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I think this concludes all of our agenda items.
Yes, and our next Commissioners Court session is January 29th, and that would be at 9:30 Drainage District, 10 a.m. Commissioners Court.
Okay, since there are no other agenda items, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
I think you have to take action.
You have to take action for that? I thought the chair could adjourn the meeting. All those in favor of the motions, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.